I want you to imagine that you are on a camping trip gone horribly wrong. You went out with a friend to this very remote place to explore this very long, dark tunnel that's rumored to not have an end. You took your supplies, you and your friend, and you went inside. And you're far removed from civilization. And you go in and it's dark, it's gloomy, you can barely see 2 feet in front of you, if that. And soon enough, as you keep walking in, the daylight completely goes away. You have your supplies, and, as you say, okay, it's time to go back, you head back to the entrance, and in some horrible accident, the entrance has caved in. It is literally impossible to move any of the rocks, anything blocking your way. You don't have cell service. You can't call anybody for help. It is literally impossible to go out where you came from. So now, what are you gonna do? You're in this long, dark, remote tunnel. The only way out is to move forward into the tunnel. And you walk with your friend, and what you're sure is hours suddenly turns into days. And your supplies have drastically dwindled. In fact, you're basically just on water now. And you don't know what's at the end of this tunnel. If there is an end to this tunnel. Is it a dead end? What's going to happen? It's rumored to have an end. You've heard the rumors. You've seen inscriptions on the wall like there might be an ending, or like what could possibly lie beyond. It's some fantastical place. People have talked about it before, that there might be an end to this tunnel, but you don't know that. Despair has already set in long ago, and things are looking so bleak. You're pretty sure you're gonna die within the next. And your friend turns to you and says, "You know what? I'm done. I quit." And you say, "Why? We gotta keep going. We gotta see if we can get a way out of here." And he says, "No, there's no evidence that this tunnel comes to an end and that there's a way out. They're all just rumors. They're all just gossip. It's all just hypothesis. It's nothing proven." And you say, "So what, you're just going to sit there and die in the dark? Like, this is where you're going to meet your end?" And he just sits there, and that's where he's going to end up. He stops moving forward because there's no proven scientific evidence that the tunnel comes to an end. You are now presented with 2 choices. Nobody's coming to your rescue. This is how it's going to end. But there's that little spark inside of you. And I know many of you have already clued into this, but this is what faith is. The essence of faith is to believe without seeing. When you act on that belief, you don't even know if it's going to work out, because it could be a dead end. But what do you have to lose? And you keep going and going, and the hope, the courage, the bravery, the determination, the strength that you are showing, all of those character traits, all of those virtues are so incredibly beneficial for you, for others around you who you interact with, for society as a whole. Those virtues, those character traits are how we become better. That is what faith is supposed to do for us. And you're not going to get there if you just give up and sit in the dark and succumb to your fate. Allah has told you to strive for Him, the ultimate triumph. Faith, ultimately, when done right, it develops those character traits. It develops you to be the best version of yourself. Ultimately, for the believer, this world is darkness. This world is darkness. Society is darkness. We all know that. It's not fun. It's evil. There's so many lies. They've lied about way more things than you think they have. The point of the believer is not to get to a light source outside of yourself. The light grows within you when you keep going. That light that Allah gives you, that is all you need to get out of your situation. You just need to act on it. Don't try to cover it up. The temptation to just give up and accept your fate, that you are going to die in the darkness, in that tunnel, that you don't know that there's an end. Sometimes the temptation is so strong. I know that. But if there is that possibility for me, if there is that possibility for you, that if you just keep going, those few more steps, those few more kilometers that you're going to reach the destination you're going to get out of it, why would you give up? If you are still alive in the darkness of life, you got to have hope and trust in Allah that He is going to get you out of that tunnel. Because even if there is a dead end, this is Allah we're talking about. That's not a dead end for Allah. Wherever you are, just keep on going and have firm faith that you are going to get there in the end, and everything is going to be okay.